Well, that was a disaster. Hey everybody, Bobby here for Role Plays, and I don't typically do negative videos, but what happened on last Friday's show, at least at the time of the recording, was so bad, I need to do a video about how horrible this adventure was. Not just how horrible it went for us, because at the end of the day, we still had fun, basically making fun of this adventure like you do sitting with friends watching a really bad movie.
This is what hell feels like.
I thought you were enjoying yourself so much.
Shut the fuck up! I lost my headphones.
Any pony would suffer in this situation.
It's just so bad, it's almost interestingly good. And that is the adventure that comes in the My Little Pony starter set. Now, hear me out, okay? First of all, I got this because I'm the dad of a 7-year-old girl who loves My Little Pony. And she's starting to get interested in ttrpgs, and I wanted to get her own dice. This thing was $20. Buying a decent set of dice is going to be like $15. So with this, I get the dice plus a starter set plus like cardboard minis and a map and everything. So why not? I also want to state beforehand, this isn't the first time me or my daughter have played this game. A friend of ours actually ran the My Little Pony RPG for her like a year ago. Now she has ADHD, so the attention span wasn't quite there. So thinking she was ready, but because of that, I already had the core book. And honestly, if you want a kid's first RPG, this is pretty good. I've covered other kid-based RPGs like Amazing Tales in the past. I'm not going to say this is better or worse than Amazing Tales. In fact, it's very, very similar in a lot of aspects. But if the kid's already a fan of the show, like, it's a solid RPG with more than enough to handle what you want without it being too complicated. So I figured, hey, the starter set should be good. You know, it's not a complicated system. We'll get an adventure. Before I ran the adventure for her, I decided, you know what? I'm going to run this on 3-hour heroes. It's probably not going to take 3 hours because if you look at the back of the box, it says it's for 1 to 3 players and should take 30 minutes to a little over 30 minutes. But you know what? Fine. We do this and then we can talk about it. Maybe the stream ends early, but we have fun. If I need to stretch it, I can stretch it. Spoiler alert. We took 2 hours and 45 minutes, and that's only because of a TPK. Yes, a TPK. Cut to Friday. It's been a busy week. I haven't gotten the prep too much, but I'm like, you know what? It's a starter adventure. I've prepped with less time. Let me look at this adventure. Now, here is the adventure. A Dragon's Bounty. This thing is all about going and facing off against a ancient red dragon, because it's a game without a CR system and stuff, so you could do that at the very beginning. And I didn't know if it was stealing their hoard or doing something else. You know, it's My Little Pony, so it's probably not theft and tomb robbing. But hey, you can hope.
Sucks ass.
It really does. It's so bad. I go through the beginning part of the rules. I already know the rules, but hey, what are the starter set version of the rules? I always love seeing those because usually they're already condensed and they're even easier to teach because this book is written to teach, where most rule books are written for reference. Fine, no big surprises here. Then I get to the adventure, and the first warning flag is this adventure can be played for a single character or multiple characters, but if it's multiple characters, they all have to agree to go to the same place at the same time for everything. Essentially, you can play as a group as long as the group makes a single decision as if they're one character. Okay, it's about friendship, it's about teamwork. Fine. Then I find out why. And I'm just going to flip to a random page because this, first of all, how it's laid out, no columns or anything, just walls of text. And this is written like a bad choose your own adventure book. And yes, some solo adventures are written in a choose your own adventure style. Really, choose your own adventure books are written in that style. A good solo module shouldn't be written exactly the same as that. This is just a choose your own adventure book, where sometimes they ask for you to roll dice. And if you succeed, turn to this page. If you fail, turn to this page. On top of that, it has like early 90s point and click adventure moon logic sometimes. Not so much that you have to combine weird items that don't make sense, but it's stuff like it starts by going, hey, do you want to go to the market and buy gear for your adventure? Do you want to go to the library to research dragons for your adventure? Or do you just want to go on your adventure? The party decides to go to the library first, because even how it's worded, cool, we'll do the market next. When you get to the end of the library section, it goes, well, now that you've researched, you go directly on the adventure. Well, what about going to the market? Nope, you're not playing by the rules of the module, because yes, I could break it and make it my own. We're talking about the module. But the rules of the module, nope. You've picked your path. You picked library over market. That's the only one you get. Time to go. The entire adventure is like this. It's
What
not.
I mean,
That's not allowed.
I
That's
mean,
taking away player agency. What the
It is rough. Now, it is a licensed game. It is for kids. So I excuse this a little more than the eye rolling it would cause for like an adult game. But yes, you do end up running into the main characters of the show, and you can decide to either follow them or decide they've got it and go back to town. Who are known as heroes across Equestria.
Whoa.
Do you follow them or head back into town?
I would like to follow them.
I'm not drunk
I
enough
want
for
to
this.
follow those big ponies.
I'm not
I
drunk enough
follow
for
the big
this.
ponies.
Notice me, senpai.
So the party decided we're here, we're on a streaming show. Let's keep doing the adventure. But for the sake of it, let's look at what happens if you stay home and go, hey, the main characters of the show got this. If you do, you go back to town and it basically asks you one more time. Are you really sure you don't want to head out there? Or do you really think they got it? And if you confirm, remember, this is a box set for ages 6 and up. So if a 6-year-old who loves these characters really thinks these characters are capable of being the heroes that the show tells them they are, it then turns to a full page of text that lists. It is nothing but narration, but it narrates off a bunch of little adventures the party has done. Doesn't do them. To still be heroes. The end. Yeah. If you follow them, really, nothing comes of that. You don't run into them anymore. It's just, do you believe in the characters that the kid probably bought this RPG or got this RPG gifted to them? Do you believe in them or do you not believe in them? And if you do believe in them, you're done. You don't need it. If you don't, it actually doesn't matter because you don't run into them again. There's a lot of situations that are like, if you have this item, which is like, that item's never come up because, again, was it the market or was it the library? Did you happen to take the path that leads you to this one specific room that then also doubles back to the room you end up now, where now the item's useful? If so, you can do this. If not, you can't. And it's stuff like, if you have a rope, you can climb the ledge. Like, if you have a lance for some reason, like, you just kind of win against the dragon. It's this strange thing. This is an adventure where, I'll be honest, they end up taking a turn where they succeeded on a check getting lost in fog. I want to point out that they succeeded, because if you fail, you get lost and you end up in a different area. If you succeed, you fall in the water and have an encounter with like a rock crocodile. With the success, you end up falling in water
Oh, wow. The success wasn't even a success.
and end up facing
Oh
a
my God.
crocodile. It's like a crocodile or something. This is the reward for succeeding the skill check. And technically, this doesn't bring up the combat rules, but I already knew the combat rules. So I'll be honest, it probably didn't say TPK them. If I remember, it said like leave them at 1 stamina if they lose. But with how this was going, and like the crocodile has a strength of a D20 plus a D10. You roll the 2 and add them. Most rolls are like take the higher of the 2. This literally said add them. So it already didn't know the rules. And the highest the players have is like a D8 in one thing. And I rolled a 20 on my D20 and double zeros on my D10. And I was like, yeah, even by the rules, if I were taking the better of the two and using the actual rules, you take 20 damage. No character has more than like 12 hit points. You die. And my players were never happier. You all take 20
Yes!
stamina damage.
We immediately go unconscious.
Yes. In
It's
water
over, guys.
with a
The
crocodile.
pain is done. I've never been so happy to die in my life.
I mean, we were
So-
still having fun, but it was like breaking us down mentally that this adventure could even exist in how badly it's written. And I looked up what are people's worst adventures, like worst modules they've dealt with. And I've seen things where like, this module just doesn't make sense with the setting. And like, this module has one encounter. This thing is horrible from beginning to end. I was in the text, I will say in the narrative text box, but the whole adventure's narrative text box. I was skimming it as quickly as possible and then cutting out 2 to 3 paragraphs and reading like a line from each of them. And then the final paragraph, because even then that was more info than they needed because it's filled with so much superfluous text that it's not even filling with the feel of the show. It is just words to fill a word count for the document. Is horrible. And again, the core book is not bad. I've even picked up the bestiary because honestly, the audience watching was loving it too. At some point, they want us to run an adventure we came up during the session while making fun of this called Clop of Cthulhu, which would be Call of Cthulhu with My Little Pony. So do check that out at some point. If you want to see how far this went off the rails and just how bad of an adventure this is, I'm going to try and remember to put a card up top to last Friday's 3 Hour Heroes. At this point, it would have been like a week ago Friday because I record in advance. But yeah, check it out. I'm going to save this adventure. First of all, I'm not going to throw it away, but it will be rewards for the next time we do charity streams. If we had a goal, I will run this adventure again as punishment to myself and to the party as a reward for raising funds for whatever we're raising funds for. That's the kind of adventure this is. We were looking at it as basically, it's like Tommy Wiseau's The Room of ttrpgs. It just doesn't understand fundamentals of the medium in such a weird way. Anyways, I will catch you guys next week. If you enjoy this or any of our other stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe. That actually does matter on YouTube. Even if you get sick of hearing it, it makes a difference. We hope you enjoy everything, and we hope your game is the best game ever, because this one, oh my god, it was so bad it was good, and then it circled back around to bad again. Bye, everybody.